Hey guys, Rod here at A Better Way to Farm, where we spend our time helping growers increase profits and improve their yields. Today I want to talk about going beans on beans, and maybe for some of the guys it's beans on beans on beans on beans. And I'm not going to get into what I think of that. I think it's hard on organic matter and a lot of different things. However, this is not the year to be any kind of judgmental. We know inputs are expensive. We know inputs are difficult to find. We don't know where we're going to get enough fertilizer for less than $1,000 a ton. We don't know where we're going to get glyphosate. There's a lot of things we don't know. And so therefore, there are a certain number of people who are going to say we can manage the beans better than the corn. And I understand that. Here's what I'm going to ask you to consider. We have to know that going beans on beans increases the likelihood of some of the diseases, in particular the pathogen soybean cyst nematode. And so if we don't rotate that, if we don't go beans to corn to something else, then, we can end up with a problem there. And I was just reading an article on AgWeb today, and they were talking about this very thing. It was kind of weird because I'd been thinking about it, doing a video on it. And they were talking about the fact that soybean cyst nematode can reduce yield 30, 40, 50%. And here's what we know about it. We know that if you have SCN, if you have soybean cyst nematode, when you visually see it, when you look at it and go, ooh, I got a problem, you've already lost 15 bushel. That's the visual threshold. We don't see it. We don't know it's there until we've already lost 15 bushel. And here's the real problem. The real problem is that once you see it, what do you do about it? It's too late. So guys, let's talk about how we can, especially if we're going to do beans on beans, how we should work around this. And if we're just doing beans and corn, it's still a good idea. Pull the soil test. Send it to Midwest Labs and have them check for your numbers of SCN. Let them tell you what is your soybean cyst nematode count. And they can tell you what that is. And then depending upon what you find, maybe you're okay, maybe you don't have very many. Now bear in mind that this is in nearly every soybean growing county in the United States, okay? There's soybean cyst nematode in nearly every county in the United States, and it moves because geese move it, it moves because equipment moves it. There's a lot of ways that it spreads. But if we are okay and we don't need to do anything, so be it, that's great. If we've got a infestation and maybe it's at the point where what we have to do is we have to think about using a resistant hybrid, that's okay. We just need to do it. And some of these resistant hybrids, they're not resistant anymore because the things just continue to mutate, if you will, and become stronger. Yes, there are some fairly potent sides out there, soybean cyst aside, if you will, things that will kill them. And that's another option that we might need to play out and think about. Another option that we have is, though, there's a product that we market called Excito, and it was proven at Purdue to make your soybeans more resistant, that they become soybean cyst nematode resistant or tolerant, because it works very, very well in that. That was not anything that we picked up. That was something that was picked up at a land grant university. And so there's some opportunity here to say, okay, how are we going to do this? We do the test, and then based on an infestation, we have a rate for a low infestation, a rate for a medium infestation, and a rate for a very high infestation. And so we would only, like everything else that we do, we don't want you to over-apply. We don't want you to under-apply. What do we want? We want you to put on exactly what it needs. I don't care if it's micronutrients and you need 4 ounces, that's what we're after. I don't care if it's Excito for the soybean cyst nematode and you need 10 ounces, or maybe you need 20 ounces, or maybe you need 30 ounces. And yeah, 30 ounces is going to be kind of spendy. But if you have a need for it, then it's going to be a drop in the hat, because 30 ounces is less than 2 bushel of soybeans. Less than 2 bushels of soybean is your cost. And so all we have to do is get you 4 bushel of soybeans, and you're getting back $2 for every dollar you invested. And I can promise you this, it will be a way bigger exchange than that. Guys, everything that happens in ag is good for somebody. The question is who. Our goal is to make sure that it's for you. And right now, I believe one of the best things that can happen in ag for you is to pull some tests and find out what your SCN numbers are, especially if you're going to do a bean on bean thing this year. I know a lot of the guys have talked to me about the fact that they're going to go heavy in beans because of the way everything else is. I get that. I'm not trying to talk you out of that. I'm just trying to talk you into doing some good management. Because the bottom line is this: it is never wrong to do the right thing, and we know that. Hey guys, if you'd be so inclined, stop by abetterwaytofarm.com and give a look at the profit calculator there. We've had a lot of people taking those, filling them out, and seeing what they could learn to maybe help them a little bit here in the year of 2022. We'd love for you to go over and take a look at our podcast. Go to the podcast platform of your choice and take a grab and say, hey, what can we hear here? I'm getting ready to do another podcast with Dr. Richard Mulvaney. I'm sure that's going to be interesting. We're getting ready to release our series on drought tolerance. I think a lot of you up in the Dakotas, right here where we're at in very southeast Iowa, Minnesota, a lot of different people are in that area where we're going, dude, we wish it would rain. We didn't get enough snow. So we're going to have a series of podcasts dropping there that I think you're going to find very interesting. And as always, if you find value in what we do, share this with a friend. We would really appreciate it. Go to the podcast and give us a rating. We appreciate all of your help. Guys, thanks for tuning in. It's an honor to get to visit with you for a little bit of time, and we really do hope you're having a better day.